Welcome back to continuing coverage of YETICON 3.0 held in Denver, Colorado, 2024. My name is Corey, member of the Rocky Mountain Yetis Old School Magic the Gathering Club. Today we are taking a look at a round 4 matchup between Justin and Ben. Justin will be on your left side as you watch the video. Let's take a look at Justin's deck photo. Justin has a white, red, blue flyers with a little secret land tax edge strategy that he's bringing in. So let's look at some of the big hitters there. We've got the Serendib Jin. That's the big 5/6 flyer with the land sacrifice drawback. We've got the Serendib Efreet. Of course, we all know and love that card. And we have a couple of Rook Eggs and the Diamond Valleys there as a land to sacrifice those Rook Eggs, gain a little life, and bring in a big 4/4 flyer. The red cards you can see just to the right of the Black Lotus in this deck photo are things like the Land's Edge. We've got the Lightning Bolts. There's Fireball, and there's also some Bloodlust in this deck. Sideboard has some really cool cards like the Preacher, Shatterstorm, Moat, Maze of Ith, and a Recall. So let's see how Justin's deck matches up with Ben's. Ben's deck is a red, black, blue, and green Reanimator strategy. Very cool to see some of these big creatures. We've got Ball Lightnings. We have an Org there, the 6/6. We have Shivan Dragons, and we also have the Yidwin Ifrit. It's a 3/6 Ifrit with a blocking restriction. You have to flip a coin if it blocks, and if you lose the flip, it can't block. I don't know if we see that strategy here. Might just be a red 3/6 attacker. We have Berserks, Regrowth. We have some burn in there in the form of Lightning Bolts. The Animate Deads to bring back those big creatures. And then down at the bottom, we do have some Triskelions there to also play along with that Reanimator strategy. So with those deck photos out of the way, let's take a look at game number 1. And here we go with game 1. Justin on your left, Ben on your right. Good luck, players. Take a look at the opening hands. We can see Justin has some pretty interesting cards in the opening hand there. Serendib Jin we can see, at least on Justin's side. Let's see what Ben has on his side. Players getting set for an exciting match. And here we go. Island Lotus for Justin. Let's see which direction we go here. A lot of ways we can go. Sacking the Lotus. There is a Soul Ring, the 2 fingers, indicating that we've still got 2 mana floating. Presumably blue, and he's tapping, and a little pump fake there with the floating mana. I believe he's probably looking between the Serendib Jin and maybe the Serendib Efreet. Serendib Jin costs 4, Serendib Efreet costs 3. He's got 2 mana floating. Kind of taking a look at what he wants to do. Kind of could go either way. You do have to sacrifice a land on your next upkeep if you play the Jin. So we do have the Serendib Efreet, and then that's all from Justin this turn. So I'm thinking he's probably thinking about not wanting to sacrifice the island and take a bunch of damage for that 5/6 flyer. So he's going to take 1 damage, though, for the 3/4 flyer, the Serendib Efreet. Down comes another blue mana source and a mountain. So Justin, well fixed on mana so far. Here's 3 coming towards Ben. And now we do have the Serendib Jin, and we have a mountain we can even feed to it. So a 5/6 flyer on the side of Justin. So a lot of damage on his side of the board next turn. If Ben can't find an answer, it's going to be a very, very short clock. 8 damage coming across there for the cost of 1 damage pain, and then, of course, sacking a land. He's going to take a damage for the City of Brass, and here is a Ball Lightning 6/1. And it looks like he's going to throw, Justin does throw the Serendib Jin in front of the Ball Lightning, so a chump block on a Ball Lightning gobbles up all 6 damage from that baby. Nice job. Okay, he takes the damage from the Serendib Efreet in his upkeep, and here is rocking for 3. Ben's at, looks like 16. And I think Justin's Turner life there says 18, I think, after taking a couple of damage. Going to take a couple more here in his next upkeep with 2 Serendibs on the board. Awesome to see the Serendib Jin get some action here. Too bad we had to chump it to the Ball Lightning against a likely burn opponent here, probably in Justin's mind. So no sacking the land. Probably would have chosen the mountain on that side. Here's another City of Brass. A good friend of mine once said, when you play City of Brass and you go against an aggro opponent, you are guaranteed to draw every City of Brass that you've got in your deck. He's going to take another damage, and here comes another Ball Lightning. Another 6/1 hasty creature. And they're talking before we go to combat. And yep, now we're in combat. And here comes the Lightning 6-1 Trampler. Justin's thinking about the options. It's really just take it all or chump 4 of it. Looks like he does take it all. Down to 12 goes Justin. Ben taking a look to see what he wants to do in maybe the second maze. There's another City of Brass damage, and it's a Chain Lightning, likely to the face. Yep, to the dome. Chain Lightning up top, while he does has 1 red mana source, so no bounce back yet this turn, and he's going to pass. Untapping is Justin, taking 2 damage, I believe, down to 10. There is a Diamond Valley. Here we go. So some life gain possibilities on the board, and 6 damage coming across towards Ben's sides. 6 in the air from the 2 Serendibs. Diamond Valley is going to protect him from taking lethal or having the Serendibs burn him down. That's a pretty handy card against a burn opponent with a couple of good toughness creatures on your board. Strip Mine on Ben's side. Ben's counting up some mana. Do we want to try to do a Fireball? It's going to cost him 2 damage if he tries to Fireball one of the Serendibs. He's going to try an Expel, I should say, if he's thinking that way. 2 cities is tough with that much damage on the board. But them's the breaks when you're playing City of Brass. Ben looking for a line here. Tanking just a little bit. Worth taking some time to think about it here, especially in Game 1 when you haven't seen everything that's going on from your opponent. He has seen the Serendib Djinn. Bit of a pump fake there on the Taiga and the Strip Mine. Could be thinking about an Expel or could be thinking about another burn spell. It's a Regrowth. Regrowth on the Ball Lightning, and he does have 3 mana. It's going to take 2 pain to cast it, but no blockers over on Justin's side, so he's going to take the full 6. So 2 cards for 6 damage and 2 life that he paid on the side there. Yep, and it looks like he has to sacrifice one of the Serendibs to the Diamond Valley to gain some life to avoid taking lethal from the Serendibs. I think that was the line that Ben found, swinging in with the Ball Lightning there. And Ben's at 4, so he's still not quite yet dead on board. There's a Strip Mine for the Diamond Valley, and we're not going to sack the other Serendib. Here is a Badlands. All right, untapping and down to, I'm not sure if that might be 3 on Justin's side. And he's going to attack in, and that is it. So it looks like Ben goes ahead and scoops him up. So that's it for game number 1. Justin takes it with the Serendib Efreets in the air, just like pretty common old school play. Let's see if we find some more of that Serendib Djinn action in game number 2. And on we go to game number 2. Ben on the right with the privilege of taking the play after losing game 1. Justin on your left, both players taking a look at the opening hands. Very cool playmat game for both players today. Did mention that in game 1. Happy to see some of those cool custom arts and something new. Always happy to see those on playmats. All right, on Ben's side, we have Badlands and a Sapphire. Well fixed on mana, black, red, and blue. Down comes a Tundra and a Land Tax over on Justin's side. Didn't see that in game 1, did we? All right, Tundra to Land Tax. Okay, artifact mana on Ben's side, and there is the old Shivan Dragon. It's just Grandpa's old Shivan Dragon, what we love to see. And the land tax is still not turned on because he did not play a land. All that artifact mana, including the Lotus, gets the Shivan Dragon down. So Justin in a bit of trouble here already. Here comes the Plains, and there's a Balance. Balance will take care of that Shivan Dragon pretty quick. Not sure about the... Okay, so he does sacrifice 1 land to get back down to 1, and it looks like who will be discarding some cards. Ben has 3, and... Yep, Justin's going to have to sack a couple cards. There's a Diamond Valley and a Mountain going in the bin there. Worth it to get rid of the Shivan Dragon. You got to do just about anything you need to. And the land tax will help him catch up as he had to balance down to 1. So it looks like no land play on Ben's side. Not going to play into the land tax strategy. And, of course, the Ancestral Recall will help Justin get the cards that he discarded back. A couple of blue creatures there, it looks like. A couple of blue cards at least. Not sure if there's a Serendib and a Time Walk. Maybe there's another land tax. So Ben will play a land at his peril. Just a Tundra. It is a Time Walk, it looks like, on Justin's side. Thank you for the little hand look there. We got a draw 7. We got a Lightning Bolt. We got a lot of exciting action. There's a lot of action in Justin's hand. That's an exciting hand to see, but probably looking for another chunk of mana. Ben may be suspecting he doesn't want to be the one to blink first, because Justin has got a lot of action, but not the mana to cast it. So he's going to have to go to discard there, and there is the Serendib Efreet going in the bin. A Lightning Bolt end step, and drawing is Ben. So good use of his available mana without playing into the land tax, just bolt on the end step. All right, there's a library. That's going to be trouble. The library, after so many draw goes, is likely going to be online here. I'm not sure if it's online at this moment or after the next draw. I don't know if he's at 6 or 7 right now. Okay, there's a Sapphire, and we do have a Disenchant. So now Justin can start to play a little bit of the action out of his hand. All right, so it was at 6 cards. He draws up to 7, and we're going to do the old main phase Library of Alexandria, drawing up to 8. And I believe land tax is going to be online now if Justin wants to go for it. He can grab some basics, and yeah, he does go for it. Let's see how many he wants to grab. It's kind of tricky. He does have 2 mana sources, so we can play 1 land and then play a 3 mana spell, which he does have a few. So there is, it looks like he's going to get the full 6. He does have a Wheel of Fortune in there, so there is a draw 7 that he could use to kind of reset the hand and I guess fill up that graveyard. I think he'd rather have a Land's Edge in play before he has to do that, though, before he has to dump out the hand. So 6 basics coming in. We got plains, mountains, islands. And Justin thinking about maybe reconsidering how many he wants to take. He is recounting a little bit here. And we are going to shuffle a couple back in. So I think doing some math about how many lands he wants to really be discarding at this early junction of the game. So it looks like he's deciding just to get 4 basic lands, plains, island, and mountain. So fully fixed on the colors he needs. And so yeah, that was the untap. So we made it through the upkeep and then the draw phase, because yeah, you'll draw another card, of course, in your draw phase after the double land tax. So let's see what direction Justin wants to take his next turn here. He's got many options. I'm not sure if he has another Serendib Efreet. He did discard one earlier to hand size. He may have another one in hand. We did see the Wheel of Fortune, as I said, and there was a Time Walk in there too, but Time Walk won't help you avoid having to discard, unfortunately. So, all right, there is an island, so we do have a land play. We're back to parity for land tax purposes. Tapping 3, and there is a Time Twister. Okay, so Time Twister will kind of help. That's better than the Wheel of Fortune, because you won't completely lose all of those lands. Now, he doesn't get to utilize them immediately either. He did get to play the island out to get himself another mana source. So let's see if on draw 7, if he has a couple of artifact mana and another play here, or if he's going to pass on over. The library was already active over on Ben's side, so it's a fairly low-risk play here. Ben does get a lightning bolt back, but library was still going to be on anyway. There's a Rook Egg, a lightning bolt. And yeah, the lands are tapped. Double checking on that. Rook Egg is a very cool one, especially if you can get a Diamond Valley online. That's a 4-mana, 4/4 flyer with a little bit of life gain there. That's a nice play. And I saw another Serendib Djinn in Justin's hand. All right, on Ben's side, he does play a land out, so double land tax is going to be back online should Justin decide to use it in the upkeep. He does draw for the library again, and there's the Time Walk, so we're going to get another library draw and maybe another mana source out. So if he plays another land here, that's kind of signaling that he doesn't mind if that land tax just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. And so there's another mana source, so Justin is free to land tax all day if he wishes. Ben deciding that he doesn't necessarily mind a bunch of basics coming in. There's no Land's Edge on the board at this moment, so it's not quite as threatening. And without something to do with all that mana, you can be kind of stuck discarding to hand size, as we did see. There's an Yidwin Ifrit on Ben's side. Not a card we see a ton. Very cool. It's a 3/6, and it has a blocking restriction. So if you flip a coin, you have to flip a coin in combat. I'm sure the Oracle text is quite complicated, but you have to flip a coin for defense, and if you lose the coin flip, then it can't block this turn. I'm sure the Oracle text is very interesting to read for that card. It's one of those top-down designs that's pretty simple to understand on its face, but probably quite difficult to implement actual wording. So it looks like just 2 lands we're going to grab with the double land tax here on Justin's side, thinking about he's going to be drawing a card and doesn't want to be discarding too much, especially if he does think he might have a Land's Edge. I'm not sure if he has one in hand right now. So on the draw step, is that maybe another Serendib Djinn? All right, there's a mountain. It is another Serendib Djinn. So he can play the Serendib Djinn out. And the land tax does help with the land sacrificing ability. And you can even do some creative stacking of your triggers to get rid of the land, I believe, and then get the land tax off. I think we can stack those triggers appropriately for that. Put the land tax and then put the Serendib Djinn on top and then dump a land, and then it's your short lands when the land tax sees it. Could be wrong about that. Anyway, on Ben's side, we have a red Elemental Blast. So that is another Serendib Djinn that is going to do a quick 2-for-1. And then here comes the Yidwin Ifrit, 3 damage coming across. So we had the Ball Lightning gobble up 1 Serendib Djinn, and then the very, very efficient red Elemental Blast takes care of another one in game 2. Maybe we will see one of those bad boys connect for 5 here in this match. I certainly would like to see that. Nice to see a Yidwin Ifrit connect for 3 in this match. That's an exciting thing to see in Old School. Players kind of talking about if lands have been played, maybe. I believe Ben has not played a land this turn because he had 4. Yep, so he does play another one because he had played 4 lands above Justin on the Time Walk turn. So another volcanic island comes down. Again, Ben signaling that he doesn't mind land tax to the heart's content for Justin. He can land tax all day if he'd like. And it looks like he declines the land tax this turn, just goes to the draw step. Decides he has sufficient lands, all the lands he needs, and doesn't need the shuffle effect just at the moment. Players having looks like a very fun match to be involved in. I hope these players are having a good time. It seems like they've got the chill, relaxed body language of players who are having a good time, rocking some old cards, and boom, there's another one. It is a Serendib Djinn, and there is the Randy Psy Blast. That is a YETICON promo card from a couple years ago. And yeah, Ben, show that card off. Awesome. So it looks like the Psy Blast maybe just went up top for Justin. I didn't quite see if he reached for his spinner, but it was not targeting the 5/6 flyer. So we do have a Psy Blast I think that was on the end step before he untapped. Here's another Badlands. That Serendib Djinn is going to gobble up a land in the upkeep, and there is a big Mind Twist from Ben. I'm not quite sure what the number is. Looks like it was for, likely I guess the whole hand. I didn't quite see, or is he? Yeah, it looks like maybe it was just the whole hand, and then now he's land taxing to refill the hand. That was a little bit quick for me. I apologize. I kind of missed the line there after the Mind Twist. Must have been for the whole hand, and then now he's refilling with the double land tax. And it's always good to refill your hand up again after a big Mind Twist, but sadly, it's all just basic lands. Now, I'm not sure if he discarded or if he sacrificed a land to the upkeep of the Serendib Djinn yet. No, he had not, and he just did. There was the mountain right there. So the Serendib Djinn does have the upkeep cost paid with the mountain. It does 3 damage to you if you sacrifice an island, and I guess that would include a tundra. I suppose that would include a tundra. So here is 5 damage in the air across the table. Nice job. Getting in there with the Serendib Djinn, and we have the Serendib Efreet for backup. Ben with the big mind twist, but right now the beatdowns are on Justin's side. But Ben, it looks like sideboard tech in the red elemental blast is helping. Side blast could take out the Serendib Efreet, but we've got 1 side blast in the graveyard. And I'm not sure if the library is online. It might, I guess it's not online because he does use it to cast a Chaos Orb. So the library must not be online because he uses the mana. Chaos Orb can take care of one of the threats. Maybe he'll wait until the upkeep is paid of sacrificing a land and take care of the bigger flyer. Ben taking a look to see if he has a backup play. Looks to have maybe 4 or 5 cards in hand. He is going to flip on the Serendib Efreet, and it is a miss. It is a bounce and a miss. Tough break. Sorry about that, Ben. Always tough to see an orb flip, bounce, and miss, especially in a critical junction of the game like this one with all of that damage in the air on the board. We've got 8 damage on the board just as it is. Ben looking for another line or another way to hang around for a few more turns. I think he's at 13, so he's not quite looking down lethal. There is Incinerate. Looks like an Incinerate for a lot. Yeah, I think that's what that is. It looks like an Expel with some cool stamps and some scribbling. All right, anyway, it's enough to take 3 of the damage off the board. And there's an Ancestral Recall. Looks like a Plains was gobbled up for the upkeep cost. So Ancestral, and just like that, he's back in the game. Justin with the land tax to fill up the hand, Ancestral to get some real cards, quote-unquote real cards, and now a Diamond Valley on the board to keep him alive as the Yidwin keeps beating in. 5 damage on the board, and here comes that Wheel of Fortune. We saw that in the hand before, and we've redrawn it, so both players are going to discard and draw 7 new ones. How much mana is Justin looking at after the draw 7? That's always the question, is how much mana do you have, and have you played a land yet? So there's a Ruby. And remember, we did lose a land at the beginning of the turn to the Serendib Djinn. Soul Ring, and there is another Serendib Efreet. So once again, Ben is looking down 8 damage, and I think this time he is on 8. So he's going to draw. Yep, he's going to draw during the upkeep with the library at 7 and then draw again. So should be at 9 cards in hand right now. Let's see if one of those is a Red Elemental Blast, or a Psy Blast would also help keep him in the game another turn. Lightning Bolt won't quite do it. Triskelion won't quite do it. So Ben in the tank again probably has quite a few avenues he could pursue here after the draw 7 and the library and the draw step. So 9 cards in hand and tons of mana. I think 7 mana, I believe. That'd be enough for a Shivan. And he's going to take a look at the graveyard of Justin. Yeah, both players' graveyards looking pretty significant, pretty sizable at this point in the game. Wonder if he was looking for any sideboard tech in the graveyard, or double checking about the Time Twister and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, now we're playing down some more mana. We've got a Mox Jet, artifact mana, and there is a Regrowth. Now let's see what the target is. All right, it's the Time Walk. Okay, so that Time Walk will help. That'll get another 2 draws, or it could another 2 draws. We're going to play the Time Walk. All right, there's an Animate Dead on, yep, there is the Shivan. Couple more mana. Another Animate Dead. And it's going to be on, yep, there it is, the Serendib Djinn. So just like that, he's got a lot of power in the air. He's got 8 power in the air, I believe, and he doesn't swing in with the Yidwen. Beginning of the upkeep there, he's going to sacrifice the Badlands to the Serendib Djinn. And let's see what Ben can do with his animated reanimator strategy, getting the Serendib Djinn on his side. Okay, swing it in, and are we going to... We're going to tap the Diamond Valley. Looks like we're going to chump and then maybe tap the Diamond Valley to sack. Chump and sack. Because you got a 3/6. You got a 4/5 Shivan that can still be pumped. And then you have a, I guess, a 4/6 Serendib Djinn because the Animate Dead has -1. So, yeah, a smart play there to block the Shivan. So pumping doesn't matter. You sacrifice, and then you gain some life. And then you take some. So he's going to take 4. Looks like he took 7, and then he gained 4. So I guess a net loss of 3 life still, even if after that exchange. But still not looking great on Justin's side. He's got a plateau and wondering if he can stay in the game another turn. All right, there's a swords for something. What do you do with the swords? We got the Shivan. Okay, he's going to gain a whole bunch of life, looks like, in response to the swords. Ben is going to pump that Shivan, so he's going to gain life equal to the power. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I gain 9, I guess. And there's a disenchant for the Serendib Djinn. Make sure that goes back in the correct graveyard. The players do. So a disenchant for the Animate Dead. Serendib Djinn goes back to the graveyard. Here comes Yidwen, and it looks like at that point, Justin says, that's going to be all she wrote, because we got the big guys off the board, but we couldn't quite get the Yidwen off the board. So an exciting game 2. That will even it up here, and we're going to head to the deciding game number 3 at round 4 here at YETICON 3.0. And we have reached the rubber game here in round 4. Justin not quite able to fend off the big creatures on Ben's side, especially the reanimation strategy. So Justin's going to have the play here on game 3. Taking a look, I believe he's on a mulligan. Justin's deciding what to keep. Looks like he's going to pitch one, and off we go. Good luck, players, here for our game 3. We got a couple of mana sources down. Oh, 3 mana sources down. Do we have a 3-mana creature? No, we don't quite have the 3-mana follow-up. So Plateau with the Sapphire and Pearl. Volcanic on Ben's side. So no action yet. Plenty of mana. Let's see if Justin's got a follow-up play. There is a... Oh, pump fakes a balance and then shows off the Land's Edge. Land's Edge, either player can discard a card at instant speed. If the card's a land, it does a couple of damage. So... let's see if that's going to be relevant here. No land tax on the side of Justin yet. We did flash. I think he showed off a balance there, so maybe card drop happens like that sometimes. On Ben's side, strip mine. So both players developing quite nicely. Let's see where the first move is going to be. All right, there it is. We have a Serendib Efreet and a quick Randy Psy Blast. So Ben's going to take 2 damage for the privilege of blasting that Serendib out of the sky. Not waiting for the upkeep. Probably not worth the risk of sideboard tech of elemental blast shenanigans, I'm guessing is the thought process there. Especially for game 3 when you both players have seen the strategies. Ben hasn't seen a Land's Edge yet, but likely thought it was possible. All right, so there is... a Volcanic and a quick Lightning Bolt. Up top, no creatures on either side for the last couple of turns, just that Serendib Efreet. So Justin going to work to the dome of Ben here in game 3. There's the Org. There's the Org, 6/6, and can't attack if the opponent's got untapped blocker that's going to be... too scary for him. So right now, let's just look at it as a 6/6. 6/6 with the old attacking restriction. Okay, there is 4 lands. So that's going to be 8 damage for Justin. And there's a balance. That's going to take care of the Org. And it's going to knock a couple of lands out for Ben as well. Oh, and likely, yeah, lands, cards, creatures. Yeah, balance is definitely improved with the with the addition of Land's Edge, because you can dump out your hand, and then he's got just a couple of lands. So Ben's going to have to discard down to 1, I believe. He's going to lose his creature, and he's going to have to get down to 2 lands. So Justin wins all 3 phases of the balance resolution. Well played. And also, just like that, let us not forget that Ben is already at 7 here after taking all that damage from the we had a burn spell, and then we of course had the Land's Edge. So all right, Animate Dead is in the graveyard. Players now kind of in top deck mode. Let's see if we can have a card draw spell. All right, there is a Serendib Djinn and a quick red Elemental Blast. So Ben's able to stay in the game here by virtue of some sideboard action. Looks like a disenchant draw for Justin. He's going to disenchant the Soul Ring. Okay, keep him off the development just a little bit longer. All right, there's a Serendib Efreet. 1 card in hand for Justin. Oh, there's a Ball Lightning. Ball Lightning's coming across for 6. Looks like he says, let's just hit me. Let's take it. He picks up the Life Turner. Okay, he's going to take another one from Serendib. 7 damage to go for the Land's Edge player. Oh, and there is the Serendib Djinn, and he's good. He's in, so should be down to 4 right now. Let's see if he can draw an answer to stay in the game. He does not, and both players extend the hand. A hearty handshake and well-deserved handshake after a really, really fun match. There's a bloodlust there. You get to see Justin showing off the Win More card, Bloodlust, +4, -4. Love that. You love to see a card like that. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see it play, but I'm glad you showed it off, Justin. Both players, excellent match. It was a lot of fun to commentate this one. I hope viewers, you enjoy watching this one here from round 4 of YETICON. Just 2 more rounds to go from coverage of our YETICON action. Next week, we'll get you to round 5 and then the finals. I have been Corey, and we will see you next time.